Oh, well, hello, all you yokers, far and wide, near and far. It do be the day of the yoking on this fine Tuesday. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not looking at you like nothing.
Don't look at me like that. I gotta keep the intros interesting, you know? I can't just say the same thing every week.
Why not?
Because then it gets stale. You gotta keep it interesting, keep it fresh, you know?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday so far. A great start to your week. And now you guys get to listen to us, so it becomes an even better week.
This is true.
My opinion.
Yeah. Life is better together, and life is better with YokeTalk.
Gaming is better together as well.
Yeah.
You should probably do everything in life together.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Just
pretty
saying.
good. Like relationships that we're going to talk about today.
Like relationships, we will be talking about relationships. It is the month of February. As you guys know, there's a very important day that is in February. Groundhog's, just kidding.
Groundhog Day. Yeah. My
Valentine's
favorite
Day.
holiday.
Feels bad for groundhogs. Let's be honest. Whose favorite holiday is Groundhog's Day, right?
Somebody's out there.
My brother, my half brother, his birthday is on Groundhog's Day, but I still don't even think even then it's his favorite holiday. Who knows? Maybe it is. But anyways, hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. We got a good show for you guys. We are going to be talking about relationships, but before we get into that, let's preview some of the other topics. So, UnworthySeraph, what are we going to be talking about today?
Yeah, so we got all sorts of gaming topics. You guys are in for a ride today, let me tell you. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are probably not launching this year, says Blizzard, and that'll extend into a bigger conversation that I wanted to talk about, how there's probably not going to be a lot of big game launches this year. So we'll talk about that. E3 will more than likely have a digital event. They didn't actually say it, as far as I saw.
I saw last night that they said it was going to be digital.
I saw a headline that said it, but then if you read the article, they didn't actually say it.
It's going to be digital.
Probably, but we'll talk about it. Does WB stand
Warner
for
Brothers?
Okay, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to be crazy. All right.
Yeah, you're good.
The Warner Brothers Nemesis patent could start a dangerous trend in gaming. You have no idea what that is? That's okay. We're going to talk about it. We're going to explain it.
I know what that is.
I'm talking to the yokers, not you, yoke fella.
Oh, okay. You said, I don't know what that is. It's like, well, you put the topic on
I said,
there.
we're going to explain it. The yoke fellas. All right. You want to take the rest of them?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Terraria co-creator.
Wait, you skipped one.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, guys. There's a UK politician. Their effort to outlaw PC component reselling gains steam. I have no idea what this one is actually
Could be the
about.
end of scalpers. At least in the UK.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Anyways, Terraria co-creator says that a certain console version is canceled. What do you mean canceled? After losing access to Google accounts. If you can't tell what the console is at this point, we talked about it last week, and I said Google, so you should be able to put 2 and 2 together. Also,
not really a console,
Cyberpunk 2077 guy. Not really. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, Cyberpunk 2077. 2077. I'm just,
you are right. 2077. That is correct.
Yes. Unfortunately, their woes continue in a couple of different ways that are a little bit different, but it's not just Cyberpunk 2077. It's the entire creator and developer of certain games. And then EA takes a big step into mobile with the acquisition of, I'm going to love this one, Kim Kardashian Hollywood developer Glue. And also, if you guys maybe you've never downloaded that app. Most of you have probably played a game called Diner Dash. That is also one of their bigger selling games. But yes, EA, they're losing out on Star Wars and they're gaining Diner Dash. So, and Kim Kardashian, let's go. And then finally, we are going to be talking about relationships today. So if you guys want to stick around for some good old relationships, last week we talked about being single. This week we're going to talk about dating and the expectations inside of an actual relationship.
It's going to be fantastic, everybody. You know, when you come to YokeTalk and you expect just good content, you don't care what it is. You don't care how crazy it is. You just expect good, solid, what's the word? what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. Not homey. What's the word? It's like not family friendly, but like wholesome conversations, everybody, this week and always on YokeTalk. Alrighty, well, now that we're done with that wholesome intro, let's go ahead and jump right into the first topic. Diablo 4
is a wholesome topic.
It's so wholesome. So wholesome. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are not launching this year, says Blizzard. So, Boz, initial thoughts?
I'm not surprised. Diablo 4, when they revealed it last year, it looked very unpolished, and everything that you saw was not gameplay, essentially. There was gameplay, sorry, but the gameplay that was shown was very unpolished, and you could see that it seemed like they were in the very beginnings of actually developing. I think they're out of the brainstorming stage and they're actually developing the game, but I'm not surprised to not see it. Overwatch 2, they announced it a little early.
Yeah.
A little early.
So.
Overwatch, I think the reason why they announced it was to help sales of Overwatch kick up a little bit, because Overwatch 2 is not going to be a standalone. It is, but it's not going to be a standalone game. It's going to have, you're going to be able to play multiplayer if you own Overwatch 1 with all the Overwatch 2 perks, but you won't have PvE and other things as well. I think it was just to boost sales and to help the populator of the game to go up, because it was a dying game, and it still is, unfortunately, a dying game. It's still a great game. I have an itch to play it once every 6 months or so.
I actually played it the other day.
See, there you go. And when was the last time you played it before that?
Months.
Probably in July, right?
Probably July.
So I think the last time I played it was at SquadCon. So SquadCon is coming around again, so maybe it's time for me to load it back up and play some.
Gotta get it downloaded. Gotta get ready.
But yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't even know if I'm excited about Overwatch 2.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Like, at first, I was like, oh, there should be a PvP, and now I'm like,
you mean PvE?
PvE, sorry, yeah. And now I'm like, I don't know, I'm okay.
I'm okay, you know.
Like, this is a good time to be a gamer. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so the way that we know that they're not coming this year is according to a recent earnings call. So I guess like some sort of financial meeting or something like that, where they did not list the two titles as part of their 2021 financials. So it suggests that they will not be launching this year.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, not surprised. But with that being said, guys, me and UnworthySeraph, we've been talking about this. We've talked about it a little bit and kind of just mentioned it, but we're going to make it more of a topic. We don't think there's going to be many big games launched as a whole this year. Last year was a big year. And normally the trend is when you have a big year, the next year normally isn't nearly as big as you would expect it to be. I remember in 2011, not Breath of the Wild, sorry. Skyward Sword, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim came out. I mean, like, it was a big year. And then 2012 came, and I was very just upset. I don't know if I bought a game in 2012. Like, it was a long year. And so I feel like this is a trend that we've been seeing for a very long time. There are going to be big titles. I'm not saying there's not going to be any, but as far as having an overload of big titles like we had last year, I don't think we're going to see that this year.
I think there's other factors at work too, which is the big discussion that well, not big discussion, but just the kind of larger idea that I wanted to mention today. I forget where I heard it. I think it was just in some YouTube video. Somebody kind of mentioned this, and I was just like, I hadn't really thought about that. So obviously, COVID-19 is a thing, and it has changed the way that people work and stuff. And last year, it caused quite a few delays in a lot of things, not just gaming, but quite a few delays in gaming. And so a lot of the games that were supposed to launch last year still did launch. They might have been delayed a few months or whatever, but most of those games were very close to being done at that point. They were like less than a year out. And so they're very close to being done. It was challenging, I'm sure, but it was doable to still get them finished and get them out. And we'll probably see a couple more trickle in earlier or a little bit later this year. But kind of the effect of COVID that we may see is a kind of slowdown in AAA launches in general, at least until devs figure out how to more effectively work from home, or until COVID goes away entirely, whatever it may be. I don't think we've seen the entire effects of COVID on the gaming release cycle. I think things are going to slow down a lot because of that. Because like it usually takes on average a few years to make a game. So
at least, yeah,
people are starting new games right now that we haven't even heard of yet. And it's going to take longer for them to work on them. So I don't know if that's just going to mean things are going to be more spread out, or if there's going to be like a drought for a year or two while they kind of recover from this. I don't know. It's kind of unclear, but just that idea that we haven't really seen the full effects of COVID-19 on gaming yet, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think eventually we'll be able to recover from all of this. Obviously, vaccines are coming out. People are becoming resistant to an extent. It's still a very big pandemic. I'm not saying, anything light about it, but eventually we'll get back to a normal. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying normal, but we'll get back to a normal way of life, a new normal, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You always have to have new normals sometimes. But this year is going to be a little bit of a slow year. I think last year, a lot of the big games, I think you mentioned it really quickly. A lot of the games that came out last year that were big games were delayed from 2019. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys remember. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, let's be honest, that got delayed a few times. So, that got announced like in 2014. So it took a few years. But, I do expect to see the second part of it next year. I don't expect it this year. I expect it maybe late next year, to be completely honest. This year, we've already seen Hogwarts Legacy get delayed. Now we're seeing Diablo IV and Overwatch 2, even though there was no release date or release year. That's probably not going to come out this year either. But if you had to take two games that are big notified games, Seraph, two games that people would know about, what two games do you think will come out this year? If you can even think of two.
What I think will. I think the Horizon sequel will.
Okay.
I don't think that's been delayed. I forget the release date. I think it's like summer or something. But
I think it was fall, something like that. But yeah,
I think that'll come out because it's probably still using a lot of the same engine and assets and stuff. So it should be easy enough for them to get that out. Right. Other than that, not anything off the top of my head. We don't really usually know what Nintendo has in store more than like 3 months out.
Honestly, tomorrow they could have a Nintendo Direct and say that they're releasing Metroid Prime 4 at midnight. Like, honestly, I'm not even kidding. This is what Nintendo does to us on a daily basis. By the way, we're releasing this today. It's like, okay, that won't happen, by the way. Metroid Prime 4, I don't know. So I think that's next year, but
I'm not holding out hope.
When they told us in 2019 they scrapped the whole entire game as a whole and they rebuilt it, I was like, okay, fans are probably upset, but at the same time, they're probably happy that they did, they saw a game that was going in a bad direction and they didn't want to make a bad game. They wanted to make a good one. So they scrapped the whole project and rebuilt it from the ground up starting in 2019. We probably won't see that right away. Probably have the story, but it just wasn't going in the direction they wanted to. I'm going to throw two games out there. One of them you guys already know. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year. It would be a huge miss. It's been 4 years, okay? They have the engine built. They have the world built. They have the story. They were talking about the DLCs 4 years ago when they came out with the DLCs. Then they said, we have too many DLC ideas. Let's make a brand new game. And they have everything they need. It's been 4 years. Bring it out, Nintendo. It's your 35th year anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. Give me the Breath of the Wild 2. Okay, other way. I'm going to throw one out way in left field. I don't even believe this is going to happen, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. I'm going to say this. Bethesda, Starfield. Holiday 2021.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't think it's actually going to happen. I don't think that's coming out till 2023. but I'm saying this year.
They usually announce and kind of start revealing their games when they're about 6 months out. So
they did that with Skyrim. I remember they
did it with
this is coming
4.
out. They were like, this is coming out in 3 months, and you're like, oh, okay. The fact that they announced Elder Scrolls 6 already was weird. Like that was, and they did it just to let the fans know, hey, this is a thing. We didn't forget about the Elder Scrolls. We're not just doing the Elder Scrolls Online. But it was an early, like for them, that was very awkward. So, but we'll see. Yep. But with that being said, usually we see a lot of game reveals at E3. We watch the big conferences, except for Sony because they dropped out of it. I found out last night, actually, a lot of people are dropping out. So one developer, I don't know who it was, but they said, I would rather have my own, what do you call it? Conference, rather than pay six figures to be able to have a booth at E3. I was like, oh, like that's a lot of money. And E3 is it's getting more expensive and it's a dying thing. PlayStation was smart to get out of it. And then COVID hit, obviously. It is going to be a digital event this year. If it's not, I would be very, very, very surprised. But it does look like they're leaning towards a digital event. They've been talking about how they're gonna allow people to be able to play different games and demo different games, different developers getting together and stuff like that. But it looks like it's going to be another digital event this year.
Not surprising.
I don't know if we'll see any big games with like, hey, this is what we're doing. Honestly, Nintendo wins E3 every year at this point. Like they've been out of E3 for a long time. They're like, we're having a treehouse. One World is treehouse. It's like a big direct, right? And so they do this every year, and every year even 1 year when the Wii U was still only a thing, the Switch wasn't even out. They still won that year because PlayStation, Xbox came out and they did horrible. So I don't know. We'll see though.
I think it'll be interesting to see how many of these gaming events go back to in person once this is all over. I wonder how many of them are going to kind of see the value of just doing things online. I wonder just how many of them are going to go back to doing things in person. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe this is it for E3. Maybe this is the last E3.
The last one. Who knows?
Next year we're going to have E4.
E4.
The Electronic what is it called? The Electronic
Entertainment Expo.
Entertainment Expo Extra.
Extra Electronic Entertainment Expo. There you go. Just put it.
COVID edition. So.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, moving on. So, the Nemesis System from the Middle-earth game was a well-known popular gaming system. A lot of people really liked the way that Middle-earth kind of handled like these really like dynamic sort of like boss enemy encounters. I never played the game, so I don't exactly know how to explain it. But
I played the first one. I didn't play the second one.
Apparently, they have patented or are trying to patent this game mechanic. So it says they recently obtained a patent. They have patented. That's so hard to say. Patented. Dang it, English. Patented it. Recently did that, and this is kind of a first for gaming. It's really strange. Usually you do not see mechanics of a game being patented. So the patent basically makes it to where people are not allowed to replicate their system or even anything similar to their system. And this is strange, but I think the reason why it's kind of a problem is because it could obviously this being an isolated incident maybe doesn't have huge effects, but like if this kind of thing catches on and all of a sudden developers start patenting their game mechanic ideas, it is really going to stifle innovation.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys don't know, Warner Brothers is making this patent. They own Warner Brothers owns the Lord of the Rings copyright, so that's the reason why Warner Brothers is making this patent. But yeah, like you said, it's an isolated incident. I could see, and this is really unfortunate, I could see them trying to sue another company for something that isn't even remotely close. But they're like, well, your enemy leveled up, so it's near our system. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I'm saying once we start stepping to this territory, you're going to see Epic doing it, possibly Nintendo, other AAA developers and stuff like that. And you start seeing this, there's going to be a lot of talk about, hey, you're trying to do what we're doing. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. I said, I want something fresh and new in my life, like something fresh and new. Most games a lot of games copy off of each other. I'll be completely honest. I'm currently playing Immortals Phoenix Rising on my stream. Phenomenal game. I'm really liking it. Not as much as Breath of the Wild, but it is like Breath of the Wild and God of War had a baby, and most of the genes came from Breath of the Wild. That's literally what this game is like. It's Breath of the Wild with
Greek gods.
Greek gods. Like that's essentially what the game is. If this was a thing, if this was an actual thing where Nintendo patented everything, that's how you say it, patented. Anyways, if they did that, this game would be sued and it would be a lost cause. Yeah. Like it is every mechanic. I mean, even down to shrines where you can't.
I feel like this is something Nintendo would do, unfortunately.
Yeah, at this point in time, I think a few years ago, I don't think Nintendo would have, but now with free Melee and everything else going on,
they've not really changed. It's just their colors are showing a little more.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. But it's definitely a problem. Like just to kind of put it into some context, like battle royales would not. I don't think they would have been able to take off without if something like this happened, where the first one patents the idea of battle royales. Right? Imagine. I don't even know what the first one was. Like
but let's just say for fun it was H1Z1. Okay, yeah. It's one of the first that made it popular. Imagine if they patented it.
Nothing else is allowed to copy it.
We would still have an alpha battle royale.
No, well, it just would have died. It just would have died. And you know what doesn't happen then? Fortnite. Fortnite does not happen in that scenario. Yeah.
Not that we're fans of Fortnite, but Fortnite is a big game. It's a very big game.
I'm using this as an example to show like how much this could affect gaming. Like
this is an issue. This is an issue.
It's crazy. One of the things that I wonder as well, this is kind of specific to me, but Warframe came out with a system that they call the Lich system. And when they were talking about it and developing it, they said how it was kind of inspired by the Nemesis system from Middle-earth. So like I said, I haven't played Middle-earth, so I don't really know exactly how the Nemesis system works. And I don't know how close it is to the Warframe's Lich system. But like, what do they do now? Like, do they have to like change it? Do they have to remove it?
You know what's interesting? Warner Brothers is doing this because of the Middle-earth series. Middle-earth series is Assassin's Creed in the Lord of the Rings world. The parkour.
I could see that.
Climbing a tower and essentially synchronizing so you can open up a part of the map. It literally took mechanics from another game, and now they're saying nobody else can take this mechanic from us. That's selfish, okay? Your whole game was based off another game, and you're telling me that other people can't base some of their materials off of your core gameplay? I understand it's very unique and nobody thought of it before. Congratulations, but maybe you shouldn't be stealing Assassin's Creed stuff either. All right, I'm done, okay? You're gonna fire me up like that? You're gonna do stuff and then come out and be hypocritical? Listen, this is a problem. You should not do this. Don't patent it, Warner Brothers. We understand Disney's already bigger than you. Okay, you got Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings. Deal with it. Done. I'm sorry. Things like this trigger me sometimes, though. It's like you got to get the selfish. We got to get the selfishness out of our society. And like, listen, I love Warner Brothers. Okay, I love a lot of stuff they got. They got DC, which I'm not a big fan of, but you know what? You got a lot of stuff. But if you're gonna take things from other games and be inspired by it, allow other people to be inspired by your game. You know what? I would take that as a compliment that somebody took something from my game and saying, "This is a good thing." That's a good thing. This is how gamers thrive. This is how games thrive. Let's do it.
So I don't think there's a whole lot more to say about this. The article goes a little in depth about it, but
I got nothing.
I don't know how much more than what
I wasn't expecting. Said, so. I actually didn't think I was actually triggered about this, but I kind of am.
Now you are. Yeah,
I am.
I'm not triggered, but I think it's probably not.
It's an issue. Yeah, it could be an issue. It could make a bigger issue in the future.
If it starts catching on. Yeah.
Right.
So, in other potentially controversial news, UK politicians are trying to outlaw PC component reselling gains. Or not gains. I just tried to rephrase the sentence and then went back to what the original sentence was. So they're trying to outlaw PC component reselling. What does this mean? Well, if you have been trying to buy a new graphics card, or maybe even a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series console, you probably haven't been able to get one because of something called scalpers. And they basically buy up all the new things and then sell them above what they're supposed to be sold so that then they can make a profit.
$2,000 on eBay.
And this is becoming,
at one point for PS5,
a huge problem. Particularly for gaming, but it's kind of catching on to other things as well. It's happening with graphics cards, happening with consoles, happening with other PC component parts. So UK politicians are trying to basically make it illegal to do this, which I think would be good. I don't think there would be any bad repercussions of that.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. And
I'm wondering how they're gonna catch the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how do you?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get some isolated incidents, but you're never going to be able to 100% get everybody. There's going to be ways around it, and if you guys don't know how it works, what a lot of people are doing at this point in time, they're making bots essentially that will set up for 24/7 on Amazon or eBay. Well, not eBay, but Walmart or Best Buy, whatever site you would want to buy, let's say your PlayStation 5 from. And essentially it will buy out all of them almost immediately right when they go on sale. So even if there's like one day that PlayStation 5 Walmart just has all of a sudden 25 in stock, they'll be gone in less than a minute. And not a real person will get it. The scalper will get all 25 and sell them all for $1,000. One real person will get it, and they'll sell them for $1,500 on eBay, and it does not allow anybody to be able to grab one. Now, unfortunately, people need to just stop going on eBay and buying the consoles for, triple the price. Let's be honest. There's some of us that are all at fault when we're buying these things at higher prices. This is the reason why they're doing what they're doing. But at the same time, it's not really fair to the people to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Let's be completely honest. Like, they would still be sold out, but more people would have them in their hands rather than just sitting on somebody's desk waiting to be sold for $2,000.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
It's unfortunate, but usually when these kind of things happen, the rest of the world kind of catches on. So if we see this go through in the UK, we may see very similar things happen in the rest of the world, which could be good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
I'd be okay with this. I was wondering why this didn't come up sooner, to be completely honest. I'm surprised it didn't come up 7 years ago when we had a problem with the PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones, because the same thing was happening. It is worse this time around. I will not say
happened
it's
real
not
bad
worse.
with Switches too.
Oh my gosh, the Switch, dude! I'm so glad I got one day one. But once again, it wasn't COVID, so I stood in line less than 6 feet from people, and I bought my Switch IRL. So because of COVID, this is even more of a problem, and more people are gaming now. There's over 3 billion people gaming now.
So there's even more reason to do this then, because there's definitely more money you can make. There's definitely more people that are willing to pay that much for it. Like,
yeah. So yeah, hopefully it catches on, and hopefully they can catch all the scalpers out there. If you're scalping, yes, don't do it. I didn't get my PlayStation 5 yet, not because of you. I don't have the money for it, but I still wouldn't have been able to get one.
But you better be done with your scalping by the time I'm ready to get one.
I had a chance. I had a chance to buy an Xbox Series X. Did I? No, but it was white when it was sold out, and it was yellow on Best Buy when it was it said buy now. I could have clicked it. I didn't. I took a picture on my phone, and then I sent it to somebody. And I said I had a chance. But I wanted a PlayStation 5 more.
Well,
okay.
Moving on. Terraria co-creator says their Stadia version is now canceled after they lost access to their Google accounts. You read this headline and you're like, huh? Like, what? So apparently, one of the creators of Terraria, they use Google for all of their like business stuff. They use it for email, and all that sort of stuff. And they lost access to all of their Google accounts for some reason, locked out of the accounts for over 3 weeks now without any explanation as to why.
Had thousands of dollars worth of apps as well, it says, that he had. And he was locked out of all of them. And then he used it for more than 15 years. Now, I don't know about you. I have not been using Google for more than 15 years. I have a lot of stuff that if I lost, my job would become significantly harder right now. Significantly. Documents, sheets, financial sheet. Like, I got a lot of stuff, and I don't know. It's a problem.
This is not a good look for Google. It's not a good look for Stadia. So
with that being said, essentially what is happening now is the creator of Terraria, they'll keep everything that is already on Stadia. They're allowing that to happen. However, if they create any new games, any new DLCs, any new versions of Terraria, they are not allowing Stadia or Google to have any of it. No more. They said, you've burned too many bridges. We're done. So if you have Stadia and that's what you're playing Terraria on, don't expect another update forever.
Yeah. And this is right after Google is like, we're not going to make our own games for Stadia. We're going to welcome third-party developers.
I know we said that. Okay, we talked about this last week. We're going to welcome them in, and they're going to lock you out as well. So get ready. Get ready.
We're going to welcome them in, and they're going to lock you out. Yoink.
This is like the Rust servers right now. They just
griefing. They're actually raiding you and locking you out of your TC.
It was griefing. You had no idea this was a PvP part of the
Unacceptable.
So bad, dude. I actually can't believe this happened. Google normally makes some pretty decent decisions, but what happened here though? Like what?
I don't know. We don't know. We don't know why.
I don't know.
Apparently they got into like a conversation with Google on Twitter at one point, but didn't really get any answers. I think Google just kind of told them to use their normal support lines or whatever. So.
Their normal support lines. I can't. That's like Todd Howard calling them up and be like, "Hey, can I have some help?" Yeah, you can call this number. That's our customer service. This is Todd Howard.
This is Todd Howard.
This is a problem, like. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, feels bad.
Feels bad, Terraria. But you can play it on your phone anyway. So do you really need to stream it?
Playing on your phone, I'll be completely honest, that's not the best way to game.
Well, right,
you're
but
playing, like Diner Dash, which we'll be talking about later.
But like, I'm just saying, like, it's not like it was only on like consoles. Like, you can literally play it on your phone. So like, it's not really any. Like, they're not reaching like a huge new market by allowing it to be streamed because it's already like on everything.
True.
So,
well,
what we got next?
This one I'm excited, guys. Cyberpunk 2077. We've had some good discussions. We had some bad discussions about this game. Unfortunately, today we are going to have another bad discussion. Actually, we have not had good, I was just about to say we haven't had good discussions about this game yet. This game has, it's just fallen victim to every bad thing that could happen to a video game release ever. I don't think anybody has had this bad of luck. And now, unfortunately, they fell victim to a ransomware.
As if they didn't already have it bad enough. Oh my goodness.
And they were threatened to have a bunch of data leaked. So
yeah, if you guys don't understand what ransomware is, first of all, ransomware is kind of like a virus. Where the virus in your computer will lock you out of your system until you give whatever it is the person that put the virus wants. Usually it's money. They just want you to pay you, or they just want you to pay them. And then they'll probably not unlock your system still, because that's usually how it works. But so basically these hackers, one person, maybe multiple, I don't know, hacked into the developers of Cyberpunk and
CD Projekt Red
took source code from Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, what was the other one? Gwent, and also an unreleased version of Witcher 3, whatever that means. So took source code from all of those, encrypted their files so they couldn't get back into their system. Usually that's what ransomware does, makes it to where you can't get back into your system. And then said that they had 48 hours to contact them, or that they were going to release all of the information that they stole to the public. Now, like,
this is an issue. This is a problem.
Look, like, you can be mad, okay? You can be mad. You can be upset. Right. But, like, this is not how we solve problems.
This is not
how we settle differences. This is not how we encourage developers to not do things that we don't want them to do.
This person obviously did not listen to the YokeTalk when we were talking about how to solve problems. The way to go about it is not doing something illegal, Epic.
They didn't do something illegal. They just did something against Apple's terms. Let's give them credit.
Okay, true. But regardless, even if you're upset about something, you don't just go and the game. Okay, it was a bad release. Apparently this person was unable to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series console and play it on a decent, with a decent amount of gameplay without too many bugs, because somebody scalped them, as we just talked about. This
man is more than just a victim of CD Projekt Red. He is a victim of scalpers. He probably didn't have a great life growing up. It's real sad.
Yes. So he probably got it on PlayStation 4. Okay, and let's be honest, that wasn't a good experience for anybody. So this is not
Mr. Ransomware Man. We love you. Okay?
Jesus loves you too.
We love you. Please stop doing this.
I'm not a fan of The Witcher 3. I'm not a fan of Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not even a fan of Gwent. Okay? CD Projekt, they're okay. All right. The content in their games, I'll be honest, I wouldn't allow it in my house. But if you're upset about a game, there's other ways to. There's other outlets. Play a game that you enjoy and wait for the updates to come out where there's no game-breaking bugs. Like, this is a good time to be a gamer. There's so many other good games out there. I know people have been waiting for Cyberpunk for 10 years now, but
it's very sad.
This is a sad thing.
It's funny because they left the note as just a notepad file on their system. So they shared the screenshot of like the ransomware message in the notepad, and it starts with the grammars in it is kind of funny. So I don't know if like the person that hacked them didn't speak English as their first language or what.
I think it was. I don't think it was that. I think it sounds like this person was in a fit of rage when they wrote this message. I feel like they had just had a game-breaking bug after the 1.1 update came out, or 1.1 or what 1.11 update came out. Let's not get into that again. I figured out why I was so confused last week, by the way. But 1.11 released, and now there's another game-breaking bug. They probably had that happen to them, and then they wrote this note 5 minutes later. Like, that's what I feel like. It was a hate-filled message.
It's very sad. Yeah, they start their opening line is, "Your have been epically pwned."
I didn't even realize it was your have been.
Your have been. Mm-hmm.
And epically is spelled in all caps, and pwned is spelled right. PW.
I don't even think they spelled epically right. Yeah, there's not supposed to be an A there, is there?
I don't think so. How do you spell epically, chat?
Oh no, that's right. Never mind.
Is it? Yeah. But there's the very first line. It has 20 exclamation points. Hello, CD Projekt, with another 20 exclamation points.
They also took documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, and investor relations.
They said that, but even CD Projekt Red said they don't think any financial things were given out.
I think they said user data.
Customers.
I think they said user data.
That would make sense then.
Yeah.
But at the end it says you have 48 hours to contact us. And it was a screenshot that was taken because you can see the cursor at the end of the
you want to
at the end of it.
I want to know excuse me. I want to know what this person wants.
Yeah, we don't know. We never heard
we
what
don't
he
know.
wanted.
CD Projekt said that they're not giving into any of the demands of this person. They're not going to entertain that, but they did not say even if they knew.
I want a working copy
what
of
this person wanted. I want to know what did you want to get out of this? Like, money, fame, something. I don't know. I have no idea. Don't know what they want, but you know what they need.
Jesus.
Amen. Moving on.
Oh boy, this world is coming in.
Let's blow through this one in like a couple minutes. EA takes a big step into mobile with acquisition of Kim Kardashian Hollywood developer Glue. Apparently, Glue also made Diner Dash.
They made Diner Dash, Design Home, Covet Fashion, MLB Tap Sports Baseball as well, and Katy Perry stuff as well. So apparently.
So here's what I see here. Okay. EA has had not a great track record in the past, loot boxes,
past couple of years,
microtransactions, DLC stuff. They have been better in past couple years, but before that, they were not liked. People did not like them. And a lot of that is still held, but I've seen that they've been trying to make some good improvements, and I appreciate that from them. So what I see here is they went, okay, the real AAA hardcore gamers don't like us doing money grabbing things in their games. So let's go do it in mobile.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's what I see.
So the acquisition was $2.1 billion, which is one of the largest acquisitions ever in gaming history. First of all, I will say that. Read that in a different article last night. I believe that article also said, even though people might not like these type, it's a very niche type of gameplay, playing Diner Dash and things like that. It really is. But they made like 1 point something billion last year or something like that. They made a lot of money last year regardless. So eventually this is probably going to work out for them. But once again, as UnworthySeraph said, this is not going to be something where they're selling games for $5. They're going to sell the games for $5-6, and then they're going to start.
No, game's probably going to be free, is what they usually do.
Well, that's true. They do a lot of free games, but you're going to start seeing a lot of like, oh, for $1, your Diner Dash person can move around quicker. Easy clap, right? You can beat the final level that you've been on for 10 years.
And to be clear, I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong. Yeah. At the end of the day, every company's goal is to make money. So clearly they're wanting to make money for this, but maybe it's not as what's the word? Evil. There's another word for that, but maybe it's not as money grabbing as it may appear. That was just my initial thought. I could be wrong about that.
And the other thing is everybody's getting into mobile gaming, right? Mm-hmm. Nintendo is doing it as well. EA says that it currently has a mobile audience of more than 100 million monthly active users. That's a lot of people. You can make a lot of money off of that. And let's be honest, I won't call it a money grab. They're trying to get, this is what business is all about, though. It's about getting more money. That's what a business is for, is to get more money, essentially. I mean, I don't know. It will be interesting. Blizzard acquired Candy Crush in 2015.
They did?
Yeah, apparently it says the move is I can't talk. Analogous. Is that word? To Activision Blizzard's acquisition of Candy Crush maker King in 2015. Huh.
I didn't know that.
Which is funny because 2015 is when Candy Crush started going downhill. Feels bad. Yeah,
interesting.
So we'll see what happens here. But you know, if we call it a money grab, I'll say that in a non-negative way, because businesses are a money grab. Nintendo does it to me all the time when they come out with another Legend of Zelda remake, HD version, port. I'll buy it.
I'll buy it.
I'll buy it.
Thanks, Nintendo. So, free Melee.
I don't say it in a negative way. I say money grab in a way that I'll probably get it as well. Not this, I'm saying, but just in general, that's what businesses are all about. So moving on to relationships.
Yes. We're done with the gaming topics now. That's all you're here for. Then farewell to you, but would encourage you to stick around. We got some great life discussion coming up for you guys. We always, well, not always, but we try to have that pretty regularly at the end of the podcast.
We've been doing it weekly.
Doing pretty good, yeah. I think the month themes really helps.
For sure, because we didn't know what we were talking about before.
Yeah, we would just try to come up with like a completely brand new topic like every week, and it's just like
you just can't do that. There's not enough topics in life to do that.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do pets one month. How to take care of cats, how to take care of dogs, how to take care of a ferret. I don't know how, but I can Google it for you.
All right, let's talk about something we know a little bit more about. Relationships. So last week, as we said, we talked about being single, pros and cons of that versus being in a relationship and all that sort of things. For the rest of February, we're going to be talking about actual relationships. And today we wanted to talk about dating and expectations. Expectations are huge, not only just in like a romantic relationship, but in any kind of relationship that you may have, whether it's friendship, even acquaintances, even the person you run into at the store is going to have expectations about what they expect you to do when you come through their cashier line or whatever.
Listen, I have expectations that the person in front of me in line is not going to turn around and have a complete life conversation with me. It's happened before, but I have expectations that will not happen. Okay.
Sometimes
I'm a community care pastor. I love people. I will listen. I will even I won't cry with you probably, but I'll pray for you. But I have expectations. I'm going to pay for my groceries and leave the store. But expectations.
So expectations are huge in general, but they are even more important for kind of dating or marriage relationships. Because whether you realize it or not, you have expectations about everything. Everybody does. Everybody does. You have expectations about big things. You have expectations about little things. And the problem is you don't realize a lot of them initially. You don't realize that you have some of these expectations. So the challenge with that from a relationship standpoint is that you're expecting them to do something and they're expecting you to do something, but you're usually not talking about those expectations. Whether if you just started the relationship or if it's like not a super healthy relationship, like a lot of people don't talk about that kind of stuff. And that's why it doesn't work out for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Expectations are really big, as he was saying. And I think there's times, and this still happens even after people get married and stuff like that. A lot of times you expect something, but if you don't talk about it, like Seraph was saying, that can be an issue. Okay. So I'll put it this way. Both husbands and wives do this. I feel like the other person can read their mind. Well, we've been married for 6 years. You should be able to read my mind. We've been married for 70 years. You should know that I'm upset. Well, unless you tell me that you're upset and you haven't said, well, obviously you can feel the tension at times, and but if you're acting like everything is completely normal, but something is really building up on the inside of you that's frustrating you, that I'm doing wrong, tell me. Like, there's an expectation that you should tell me what I'm doing so that we can grow closer in the relationship with each other. And so I think that happens a lot, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've been guilty of it for sure, where I'm upset about something, but I just kept it on the inside because, not that it wasn't important, but I just didn't want to have an argument. I didn't want to put down my wife or whatever it might be, not put her down, but, make her upset because I'm upset about something. So
I think a lot of times we forget that even if it's going to be hard to talk about initially, like it'll just be better once you talk about it. Like, especially like the simple things, right? So like maybe your spouse does something where they don't push the drawers of the dresser in all the way or something. I don't know. And maybe that just riles you up, right? Maybe you just can't stand it. And so you go for weeks not saying anything, but you're just getting triggered every day because those drawers
you have
open.
That one time you walk into that drawer with your ankle.
You're furious. Triggered. But they have no idea that bothers you because you didn't tell them. They can't help you if you don't tell them.
I had,
and we're all guilty of doing this. We're all guilty of not knowing these things and not sharing expectations. Like,
when me and my wife got married, I had no idea how many bottles of shampoo, body wash, face wash, conditioner were going to be in the bathroom. Now, you got that little shelf space, right, on all bathtubs. We had 18 bottles. I used 2 of them. Shampoo, body wash. Sometimes I had a face wash. Sometimes. That wasn't even all the time. Every day. I'm a lengthy guy, okay? I have very long arms. I have very long legs. When I move, my arms move kind of like, just around. They're long. If I touch one bottle, domino effect. All of the bottles was, and I'm trying to pick up bottles over here, but then I knock them over with my foot and the bottles are crashing down. And then I hear, "Are you okay?" Do you think I'm okay? I just knocked down 18 bottles and now I got to take 20 more minutes in the shower to balance them on top of each other. And it was triggering. So I told her, you know what happened? We had 19 the next day. It doesn't always get better right away. But what I'm trying to say is she didn't know, that this was an issue for me. Right now, we probably have 6 or 7 in there. That's fine. She rotates out. I'm okay with that. I can knock over 1 or 2 bottles and I'll be all right with that. When it was 18, it was a little bit much. but it gets to the point that you need to talk about it with each other.
Whether it's big or small.
Hard conversations are the most important conversations to have. If you're scared to have a conversation with somebody in a relationship, that's probably the biggest conversation that you need to have. If it has to do with a job, if it has to do with like finances or something going on inside of your house, if it has to do with the kids, if it has to do with something inside of your relationship, if you're scared to have a conversation with the person because you're worried about the way that they're going to react, the only way to grow in your relationship is have that conversation with that person so that you can continue growing in your relationship. And I promise you, there might be an argument. One person might get hurt in a conversation, not because of what you said, but because it's a difficult conversation to have. But once you work through it, your relationship is going to grow so much more than if you're working on something that is you're just talking about the weather or just talking about TV, because that's easy things to talk about. It's the hard things. It's like working out, right? When you work out, it hurts when you're done working out. It hurts the next day, but you get stronger as well. The muscles grow. And so your relationship will grow when you're having those difficult conversations.
And here's the thing, like, what was I going to say? Shoot. I like had a thought and then I lost it. Hold on. You were talking about having those conversations.
Hard, difficult conversations.
Oh, yes. Okay. I remember. Okay. All right. I remember. Got it back. Let's go. So here's the thing. And this can kind of segue into just talking about dating in general. If you do this it's important to do it all stages of relationships. But if you do this in the early stages of your relationship, you are going to be able to find out much more quickly if the two of you are going to be compatible at all. You're going to find out if they really like you. Like, you're going to find out so much quicker whether or not it's going to work. And like Boz was saying, it's either going to work out and you're going to get through it and you're going to get stronger, or you're going to bring up whatever topic and you guys aren't going to be able to resolve it. You're going to find out you don't really like each other, and then you're done. And you save yourself all the hurt of not talking about things for however long.
The other thing I'll say is, a lot of people don't understand this. Every difficulty that you go through is probably 40 to 50 times harder after you get married. It is so essential to have these conversations, the hard ones, before you get married and work through those problems. You're still going to have problems after you get married. I'm not saying you're not going to. Those things are going to happen. Absolutely. But if you're working through situations that are resolvable while you're dating, get it resolved while you're dating, because it will be immensely harder after you get married, because there's going to be so much more that goes into it. And I didn't understand it. People told me this while I was growing up and while I was dating, while I was engaged. And then I got married, and there were still some unresolved things there. Not a whole lot. We worked through a lot of stuff, especially in our second year of our relationship together, me and Danielle. But the thing is everything got harder. Like, a lot of the conversations, they just get harder. You have a honeymoon phase for like a month or two, and then all of a sudden real life comes trampling in. You're like, oh, this is what it's like. So I would definitely say work on those things for sure early, as UnworthySeraph was saying. And it helps, like you said, if you're compatible with each other, for sure.
Yeah, you find out whether it's going to work or not, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are like afraid of, like sometimes they're afraid of like being alone or whatever, and they want to like hold on to it. But like, love yourself enough to take care of yourself, and don't make yourself suffer through something you don't need to.
Right. Two things I really want to get through quick. My first thing is, don't date unless you're ready to commit. There's actually no point in dating at all if you're not ready to commit your life to somebody. There's no point. Well, kissing is fun. Great. So you're going to go through a bunch of heartbreak and kissing with this person that you're not even going to be, potentially marrying in the future. Like, the reason why dating is a new concept. Okay. I'll put that out there. But the thing is, it's only been like around for 100 years. Dating used to mean something completely different. I won't go into that. But anyways, dating, essentially, the concept of it today, what it should be anyways, is that this is a person I potentially would love to marry. I'm not going to go into courting or anything like that. I would love to, but we don't have time for that. But the thing is when you're dating somebody, you should really only be dating the person if you have the potential to marry them and that you're ready to commit to somebody. There's actually no point in dating if you don't have that commitment.
Yeah. And going back to the expectations thing, you should talk about that early on. Because while we're saying, yeah, you shouldn't date unless you are like planning to be committed, not everyone has that mindset. So you could be that person. You could be somebody who is ready to be committed, but the person that you just started dating, they could just be doing it for fun. Like,
so true.
You have no idea. So like, again, back to expectations. You need to talk about that early on. Like, are we dating for fun? Are we committed? Like, whatever it is, like, if you're okay with dating for fun, then I guess you can find that out, and that's good for you. But
it's fine. But there's no point in doing it.
You need to talk about that early on.
There's a whole lot of heartbreak that you're going to suffer for no reason at all.
Because if you're looking for something committed, and they're just dating for fun, they don't even know if they like you. You need to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So last thing, this is so important. This is so important.
It's the most important.
It's the most important.
The most
and it
important.
has to do with the YokeTalk.
It's the most important.
Don't be unequally yoked.
Yeah, yokers.
I taught youth for 10 years, and I always had that one person, constant. I'm dating with the intention that he's going to get saved.
We should probably explain what unequally yoked is.
All right, let me explain what. All right, back in the day, there would be oxen that would be plowing the fields and stuff like that. All right,
I didn't necessarily mean the whole yoke thing, but all right, go for it.
Look at our logo. Or I almost said yogo.
Yogo. Look at the yogo.
Look at the yogo up there. Anyways, look at the logo up there that Seraph was just pointing to. You would have a big wooden thing, and one would be like one of the things would be on one of the oxen. The other one would also have one, and together they would be equally yoked, doing the same amount of work moving forward. If only one of them had it on, they would keep on going in circles and circles and circles because they are unable to pull whatever whatever it is behind them, the mechanism behind them, to be able to plow the fields by itself. It just can't do it. So it would go in circles. Being equally yoked, when the Bible talks about it, is being in a relationship with another person, and that if you're saved, they are also saved. They also know Jesus Christ. They also love Jesus Christ. They have a commitment to Jesus Christ, just like you do, that you have Jesus Christ inside of your life. It is so hard, and I've seen this happen before, when there is a marriage between two people where one person is saved and the other person is not saved. One has a calling from God and the other says, I don't care. What do? Now you're being torn in two different directions. Well, I should follow God. Yeah, but you also made a vow to this person that you would be with them until death do you part. So now you have a vow to God and you have a vow to this person that is your spouse, and you're being pulled from each and every situation, every way possible, and you can't move forward in life, and you can't move forward in your relationship with God, and it's hurting your relationship here on earth, and now you're just hurting because you can't do what you are passionate about. And people say, well, yeah, I'm ready to do that. You're not. It is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You are not ready for that. Listen, it is so important in life to be equally yoked, so that when you say, this is what God is telling me, and the other person says, I don't agree with you, but I believe you. Let's pray about it together. Mm-hmm. Like those, and that's what it's about. It's about being together, moving forward together, no matter what.
Yeah. Super, super, super important. It has just so many ramifications and effects. I think the biggest one that people probably don't think about is it hugely impacts your kids. Hugely. Yes. Because then your kids are growing up and mommy believes in Jesus, but daddy doesn't believe in Jesus. And it's like, well, which is it, right? The kids look to their parents for direction and to learn things, and they're getting mixed signals from their parents. And like, as if you're the saved person in that scenario, that should scare you. Like, that should scare you, knowing that, like, the other parent of your children, whether you're a guy or a girl, is not going to direct your kids in the ways of God. Like, if you are the saved parent, that should scare you.
That's a problem. That is a problem. So with everything, and this goes for every aspect of life, kids, relationship in general, like Seraph was saying with your kids and wanting them to grow up, equally yoked is the way to go. If the person isn't saved, it's a lot harder. I would give a visual, but I'm on a rolly chair and my wife is not feeling good. But so it'd be a really bad visual at that point. People would be falling down and we'd probably come out with broken limbs. But I've done this visual before inside of a church where I would stand up on top of a chair. I'm the stronger of the two between my wife and I, and she would be standing on the ground. And so she would pull me off the chair with no problem at all. She would just pull and I would get off the chair. It would be much harder for me to pull her up on the chair. It's much easier, and this goes spiritually, emotionally, whatever. It's much easier to drag somebody down than it is to pull someone up. I understand people when they get into a relationship, they're like, I really think this person can change. If you really think that person should change and you love them, listen, we didn't even talk about love. We'll talk about that next week. But if you actually love the person, don't go into a relationship with the person until you can actually find out that they are the type of person. Do yourself and them a favor. Don't go into a relationship until they are the one that makes the decision. You can't force anybody. You can't force anybody into that decision.
No, and you can't expect them to make that decision.
Right.
Expectations.
Right.
We've come full circle.
Full circle, guys. The circle of life. The circle of relationships.
If you talked about your expectation that you expected them to convert and they were like, nah, I'm never going to convert.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Be unequal or be equally yoked. It's the yoke talk. What did you expect us to tell you? You know?
Yeah, for real.
What do you expect?
Gaming and life is better together.
Amen.
Especially in a relationship. It is better together. Don't be walking in circles. Be equally yoked moving forward. I hope that helps you guys, though. Some of you aren't even dating right now. So now you know when you go into a relationship what to wait for it. Expect.
Got him.
Expectations. You have expectations from us. And now we've given you our expectations as well.
So live up to our expectations. No, I'm kidding.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
We're not going to judge you. We're not going to hold you accountable to our expectations. You can do what you want, but
yeah. One last quick thing before we leave, you guys. We did talk about last year that we're going to be changing our day/time.
We're thinking about it still. Kind of.
We're thinking about it, but it doesn't look promising at this point. It might be at the same time, Tuesday, 12 o'clock here, Eastern Standard Time, every single Tuesday. Come back. That's all I got.
That's all you got? All right. Well, thank you
got.
guys so much for joining us. We went a little over time this week, but not as much as last week. So we're improving.
Making improvements.
I don't mind if they go long, really, usually. So
I don't mind either. You guys can listen. You guys expect us to improve.
That's right. You expect us to deliver whatever it is we deliver.
All the content.
Whatever it is.
All the content. Live content. Gaming content. Crazy content. I expect Nintendo to deliver Breath of the Wild 2 this year. It might not happen.
I expect you to get triggered about something next week.
I believe. I didn't even think I was going to get triggered about anything this week. When I looked at that article and I was like, dang, this is bad stuff.
You know it's a good yoke talk when Boz is getting triggered. Look at him go. Look at him go. All right,
my screen is shaking.
It's just shaking. Shaking in your boots. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Yoke Talk, episode 31. It's been great. It's been amazing. And you yokers are the best. You're just the best. We appreciate you for tuning in, whether live or recorded. Yes.
When are you streaming next?
That's a great question. Great question that I will not be answering today.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm going to be streaming next either, but I have found that nighttime streams currently might be the way for me to go. So if you guys didn't know, I streamed on Sunday. It was in the afternoonish, but I did stream last night. I enjoyed it. So if you guys want to come and hang out, I'm currently streaming Immortals Phoenix Rising, twitch.tv/BozGS with a Z, BozGS.
Like a bee.
Something like that. So BozGS, definitely come out. It's a lot of fun. And then also follow this guy over here. Twitch.tv/UnworthySeraph. He might stream one day.
I'm trying. We'll get there. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next week. Take care, all you yokers and all the good stuff. We love you guys.
See you guys.